Good afternoon. My name is Ray Williams, and on behalf of New River Community College and the Black History Committee, we'd like to welcome you to our annual Black History Month program. It's a great pleasure to see all of you here coming out in support of our local community, in support of our remembrance of the efforts of those who have come before us to help us shape our country, and in recognition of the contributions of the many people, among which the African American contributions to our country as we evolve and as we tussle with ourselves and among ourselves to better understand the fullest extent of our humanity and the greatest interpretation of our Constitution and Bill of Rights. We have a fantastic program ahead of you this afternoon. I do want to take a moment before I go much further and acknowledge the contributions of those who plan to bring this event to you today. What I'd like to do is introduce you to the members of the Black History Month Committee. And if you don't mind, as I call your name, if you would stand, we'd appreciate that. First of all, our Commander-in-Chief, Ms. Elaine Powell, who leads our charge this year and every year. So at the back of the room, we have Elaine Powell. I don't think she's here, but Ms. Kelly Keister, who handles our public relations and ad production and that sort of thing. She's not here. We have Ms. Kim Matthews at the back of the room. At the farthest reaches of the room, Ms. Bridget Meningini, the godmother of our Giles ACE program, and Ms. Serena Moore. Where is she? I know she's here. Serena, where are you? There you go. And none of these efforts on our part could happen without the generous support year after year from the Office of the President. So to Dr. Pat Huber, thank you once again for providing us with the resources we need to put this program on. So once again, let's recognize those contributions. So as I mentioned, the Office of the President, this is a great segue for me. You've heard that expression, you ain't the boss of me. Well, when it comes to Dr. Huber, yeah, that's true, she is. She's the boss of me and every one of us here. But for those of us who have the pleasure of serving New River, we don't tend to think of her that way. If you work here, Dr. Huber comes off more as a friend, a colleague, a confidant, a supporter. And I know through my short time here at New River, I welcome my interactions with her. I welcome the feedback that she provides to those of us who are just trying to do the good work here at the college. So with that having been said, it would be my pleasure, and I hope you give her a very warm round of applause as I bring to the stage our sixth president here of New River Community College, Dr. Pat Huber.
Good afternoon. I'm honored not only to work here, but especially to welcome you here this afternoon to New River Community College. Thank you for sharing with us in an afternoon of inspiration. I thank the Black History Committee for planning and organizing this event, as I also say thank you to the many departments and individuals of the college who support the committee in its work. As always, this program will be special. This event showcases area talent, and I'm eager today to enjoy today's talent. Dante Holmes and Unlimited Praise. And I know we all look forward to the inspiring words of Dr. Brian Hemphill. I extend a special welcome to you, President Hemphill, and to your wife, Dr. Hemphill. Thank you for joining us for this annual event. So let us proceed with the special ceremony and enjoy our afternoon together. Thank you for being here.
You know, there's nothing worse than being left out when someone's out announcing contributions from various members of the community and committee. So I just made a mistake in leaving out one other member of our committee, a fellow Highlander like myself, Mr. Rod Reedy. Stand up, Rod, and let us thank you. He's also a member of the Black History Month Committee. I apologize, Rod. At this point in time, I'd like to bring to the stage Mr. Mark Watson, who is going to lead us in prayer and formally start the program for us.
Good to see everybody. Good to see so many familiar faces again. Dr. Huber, Dr. Hemphill, good to see you both. Let us bow our heads. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this special occasion. We're grateful for every African American and others who contributed to the success of this country in the past. Lord, we ask that you would continue to bless those that in the future would do also greater things. Lord, we thank you for this occasion. Bless every word that is spoken, every song that is sung, that it be inspiring and bring strength that we can do your will. In Jesus' name we pray. We thank you now. Amen.
You know, this feels like an old home week for me, in addition to having Dr. Hemphill here to represent my alma mater. And I look out in the audience and see several of my colleagues from back in the day when I was an undergrad. Mr. Watts here happened to be in the same high school I was in back in the day at the Bethel High School in Hampton. And we didn't see each other again until we were up here in the New River Valley, so that's sort of neat. Progressing with the program, we're going to take this time to, if I can bring Serena Moore. Where are you, Serena? Here. She's going to lead us in singing, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Miss Serena Moore.
I would ask you all to stand with me, please. And if you're not familiar with the words, they are on the program. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope mind. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading the path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the light gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you, Serena. And if I may at this time, if I can bring to the stage from Pulaski Middle School, Mr. Dante Holmes.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Now Jordan's water is chilly and cold. God's gonna trouble the water. It chills the body but not the soul. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. If you get there before I do, God's gonna trouble the carry me home. I looked over Jordan and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, coming for to carry me home. But still my soul feels heavenly bound, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Let's hear it one more time for Mr. Holmes, Dante Holmes. I really enjoyed that, you know, as I was sitting there listening to Dante. It took me back a little bit. I could remember the squeaky wooden floors of the old wooden church, you know, and the smell of pomade and Sunday morning hats and back in the day. So thank you again, Dante. Really appreciate that. Up next, I'd like to bring back to the stage our illustrious president, Dr. Pat Huber.
Brian O. Hemphill, PhD, proudly serves as Radford University's 7th president. Since joining the Radford University community on July 1, 2016, with his wife, First Lady Maricela Rosas Hemphill, PhD, and their family, President Hemphill has served as an unwavering champion and a true advocate of shared governance. President Hemphill's vision is to transform Radford University into an innovative, premier university in the Commonwealth of Virginia and beyond, with a keen focus on teaching, research, and service. President Hemphill is a published author with a multitude of writings covering a variety of topics. His writings provide scholarly perspectives pertinent to the higher education environment. President Hemphill earned a PhD in Higher Education Administration and Policy Studies from the University of Iowa, a Master of Science degree in Journalism and Mass Communication from Iowa State University of Science and Technology, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in Organizational Communication from St. Augustine's University. In my welcome to you this afternoon, I described the program. I haven't done anything. Well, I said it was going to be a program of inspiration. That just fits the bill. President Hemphill has been a colleague, a friend, a mentor, and a source of inspiration to me. I remember my very first week in office in my new role, and I received a call from Dr. Hemphill. He was one of the first to reach out to me in a very positive, encouraging, collaborative manner, and I will always appreciate that. I now look forward to his words of inspiration for all of us. Please join me in welcoming President Brian Hemphill.
Greetings, and thank you very much for inviting me to be with you today. I will tell you it's a distinct pleasure and honor to join you for this celebration. While there's just 1 month every year to allow us to come together for reflection, make no mistakes that the positive impact society has experienced from African Americans is in every facet of our community and our country. Now, before I continue with some of my comments, I'd like to take a moment and just really acknowledge our president, Pat Huber, as well as New River Community College for hosting what will be a great afternoon for us. Let's give Pat and her team a round of applause. And what about Dante? Wow. Let's give Dante a round of applause. Thank you very much. I need my admission staff here, clearly. Did you hear Pat? She said no. I'd also like to take a moment and acknowledge Elaine Powell for helping to arrange this event and also extending the invitation. Let's give Elaine another round of applause. Thank you so much. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge Radford University's First Lady and my wife, Maricela Rosas Hemphill. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you for being here. My kids said to me before I left, "Why do you take mommy away?" So they want mommy to stay at home with them. I will tell you that Maricela and I are honored to be here today, and I'm so pleased to stand before you on this special occasion. It is important to note, though, that our topic today, this afternoon, is more than just words. It's more than just a speech or another address. It will require action, action to ensure the future success of generations to come. While we're all products of the past, it is imperative that we look toward the future in order to think about the success of this next generation of leaders, just as others have done for each of us. Last month, we celebrated the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Reflecting on his impact, this quote spoke to me: "Let us keep going toward the goal of selfhood, toward the realization of a dream of brotherhood, toward the realization of the dream of understanding goodwill. We must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Keep moving." Those words stuck with me. It made me think about African Americans in motion, whether it be education, business, or politics. I will discuss some of those with you this afternoon. Let us first consider education. I occupy a powerful platform with deep responsibility to share my limitless passion. Why? Because I owe a debt. I owe a debt. My debt is to educators everywhere, past, present, and future. My debt is to those who've helped me along the way. I will never forget those who helped me stand before you today. But I'm not here to talk about me today. It's not why I'm here. I like to discuss the next generation of leaders and the importance of education. Education is for all who desire it, for those who need it, and I believe our nation desperately needs an educated citizenry. However, I believe we're at a crossroad. As educated citizens and leaders, we must describe in concrete terms how education changes lives, improves communities, and feeds the world. We must tell our powerful stories in order to help the next generation pursue their dreams. They must be able to visualize the path forward. United, our voices together are louder and more commanding. United, our voices can be heard by our children, our college students, and our political leaders. It is incumbent upon us to communicate the importance of accessible and affordable education to our nation. This is one way, through education, for us to keep moving forward, that we can break the cycles, that we can hear the voices of the vulnerable. It is through education that we can envision a better future. Success comes quicker when we welcome good ideas and develop partnerships to implement them. At Radford, for example, we have a long history of partnering with agencies and service providers in healthcare, education, social work, business, and economic development arenas, just to name a few. Our students get valuable experiences and opportunities to learn, grow, gain professional experience, and critical knowledge. Our communities benefit from enthusiastic, talented young people eager to contribute and give back to society. This is one way for us to keep moving forward. The presence of our institutions and others anchor our communities and improve quality of life. But this progress is not solely driven by higher education. I would not want to stand here and give you that impression. Our public school system has a lasting and profound impact on society. Public education is what inspired me to pursue higher education as a first-generation college student from rural North Carolina. Since its origins in the early years of the American experiment, public education has nurtured the human spirit one child at a time. Our country was born in an age of enlightenment, a time of rapid advancement in scientific, political, and philosophical thought. Into the fabric of our country's history, education has been tightly woven. In the farewell address ending his first presidential term, George Washington called upon his fellow Americans to establish, quote, institutions for the general diffusion of knowledge, end quote. He knew that self-governance could only succeed if its citizens could reason, debate, think, and act intentionally. From the beginning, racism and sexism made it difficult for many to benefit from public education, and over time, with sustained efforts by organizations and heroic individuals, our schools evolved to provide opportunities for every child in a diverse and increasingly complicated world. Public education remains a beacon of hope, dreams, and progress. I believe that. Improving education and broadening access to it are critical to fulfilling the promise of the American dream, economically, socially, intellectually, and culturally. Now, in yet another time of social and economic disruption, America's looked for solutions, and they look to education, as they should. We in education are being asked to provide answers to questions like, how can we fulfill our country's founding ideals of a meritocracy based on ability and action? How can we sustain democracy through an informed citizenry? How can we prevent fear, bigotry, and oppression? It is because of leaders such as Booker T. Washington that doors have opened for people such as President Bishop, Senator Lucas, Mayor Lee, Senator Dance, just to name a few. Booker T. Washington's studies and some of his early work were done in Richmond, Virginia. And because of him, many of us in this room have the opportunity to work with legislators, government officials, and business leaders to advance our educational agenda. Booker T. Washington and those that came before him and after him have removed many obstacles. But let us discuss business. Let's talk about business for a moment. To me, it is obvious that education will fuel and guide progress in the 21st century. In the early 20th century, America's wealthiest people made fortunes from the hard work of those done by other people in our factories, our mills, our coal mines, and our fields. These workers did not have a voice. These individuals did not have significant opportunity. Now, in the 21st century, a person like Ursula Burns, who's able to be a renowned business leader, in business, many women have challenging paths to leadership. African American women have even a greater obstacle to overcome at times. However, Ursula's success is because of her hard work, her genius, and her education. But she didn't do this alone. She had amazing trailblazers who came before her, who imagined a better world. And I say imagine a better world. My colleague Gordon Gee, president of West Virginia University, once said, quote, "Imagination today is what steel was 120 years ago, the very building blocks of progress," end quote. Progress, in other words, is about moving forward. He goes on to say, quote, "We live in an era when ideas will be the catalyst of virtually all future economic progress," end quote. To me, that means that education, the art and science of learning and thinking, is vital to generating sustainable ideas and guiding their implementation. President Gee describes a covenant that we as educators have with our children and our children's children to extend our country's founding principles of education in a democracy. Education expands individually. When we think about the opportunities, it stimulates the economy and it creates jobs. I submit to you that New River Community College supports economic justice and equality in education. You display your understanding of this truth every day with every individual student encounter. Give my colleagues a round of applause. They deserve it. Your commitment aligns with my own and that of the Radford University family. Education empowers business to decide, to explore, to pursue the American dream for us and our communities. The fact that a small town kid from eastern North Carolina who was desperately in need of a haircut can become a president of a leading American university is a testament to the potential of this American dream. But I will say to you, there's a threat. There's threats to this American dream that I speak of. Our ability to debate, agree to disagree, and challenge our friends and foes have been a bedrock of our great nation. The strident tone of our current national discourse make it clear we're in uncharted territory. Therefore, our colleges and universities need to produce graduates, but not just any graduate. Graduates who are fearless thought leaders, those who are committed to bold action and willing to be truth tellers in the midst of an intimidating environment. Those who are not willing to be silenced, who are critical, deliberative thinkers capable of listening to all sides of arguments before drawing a conclusion. Those who are empowered to speak courageously and completely on behalf of justice and progress for everyone. And with that said, we turn to politics. I did say that our country is at a crossroad. Some might think that hope can be lost at points when you hear some of the rhetoric. But let me tell you this, it's not. Only in the dark can you see stars. Only in the dark can you see light. We are in a challenging political environment. There's no doubt about that. But we have a great opportunity ahead of us. And that, my friends, is what's most important. I encourage you to look at politics in a different way. I encourage you to look at politics and it not being about sides. Regardless of your individual political beliefs, do not look at any opponent as the enemy. Whether our great nation was led by former President George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, or Barack Obama, there was a general sense of the importance of all voices being heard. They all believe that we are one nation and stronger together. As former President Ronald Reagan once said, quote, "If we ever forget we are one nation under God, then we will become one nation gone under," end quote. As former President Barack Obama said, quote, "We are all a part of the same team, the American team. When America succeeds, we all succeed," end quote. Former President Obama is an outstanding political role model. He reached the highest public office in the United States and was the first African American to do so. He rose quickly through the American political system. He stood on the shoulders of those who came before him to make opportunities possible. He showed that next generation that anything is truly possible if you work hard enough. His message of hope was so powerful, and it was powerful not because he said it. It was powerful because we believed in his message and acted. I submit to you that regardless of leadership in Washington or Congress, this is the same country we believed in and were very much inspired by. A few leaders do not change the entire course of a nation unless we allow it. We must take ownership of our role and our responsibility to act. If hope inspires you, act. If love inspires you, act. If change inspires you, act. Dr. King knew his political environment well. He was not afraid to try something different and to stick to his ideals. He was not afraid of the consequences of acting. Dr. King had a dream, and for his dream to become a reality today, we must keep moving forward, even in the face of difficult challenges that we see on a daily basis. I think a lot of us today expect perfection, whether it's from our political leaders or our movements that we're a part of. I hate to break it to you folks, but none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. Leaders make mistakes, movements make mistakes, but that does not mean they're bad or should fail. Sometimes we have to look at the cause, our ideals and our principles, and truly think to ourselves, are we trying to do what is right? Is this cause still worth it? Are we trying to keep society progressing forward? If the answer is yes, learn from the mistakes and improve. If we can't, the one realization is that we can't afford to take a day off. We must keep moving forward. Some of you might be thinking that you do not have the ability to change history, to impact history. I say to each of you, history is written by those who do not appear in the newspaper and by those who don't necessarily seek the podium. It is written by those who work hard and those who are not natural leaders. All you have to do is be willing to work. History is not only written by CEOs and Wall Street executives and presidents. We live in a democracy where history can be written by those in this very room. And I look forward to seeing what history this next generation of thought leaders will produce. I also ask us to pause. Pause for a moment and think about diversity and inclusion in our society. What do we want society to be? Where can we aspire to go? History has been far from perfect, but that is no excuse to slow down on the path to equality. I believe everyone here today wants our community to be as ideal as possible, secured by the bonds of cooperation and understanding and a care for their neighbor. Our commitment to diversity and inclusion is central to our mission of discovery, but there are obstacles to pursuing this mission. We struggle with poor communications, misunderstanding, hard choices, and sometimes Twitter. You guys will get that tomorrow probably. But these should not become excuses to abandon our efforts toward a strong, beautiful, and resilient social fabric. They are obstacles to be surpassed and problems in need of solutions. And with this in mind, we share a sense of opportunity and a sense of urgency. The pools of fear and apathy are forces constantly at work. Indeed, intellectual isolation is contrary to the spirit of inquiry that drives our society to explore, study, and share the world's rich diversity and wonder that drives society forward. When verbal insults include racist, sexist, homophobic, or other forms of bias manifest themselves, we should join together and denounce them and support one another, support whoever has been targeted, because we're all together. When one person has been targeted, we all should feel targeted. Efforts to diversify are ongoing and should never stop. We know that when people of different races, genders, and backgrounds come together, the exchange enriches each of us, and without question, it enriches the human experience. We must work to ensure that all people have an opportunity to be exposed to a wide range of cultures, beliefs, and perspectives, both in and beyond their communities. Powerful experiences such as these inoculate against intolerance with cultural awareness and compassion. As president of Radford University, one of my most powerful experiences year after year is joining with our families and our graduates for commencement. I have the distinct honor of presiding over commencement, in which I truly enjoy every moment as our students come together and celebrate. And this past commencement, students stood in the chairs at the end and danced as we finished and was exiting the venue. They were so excited. Our students come from every walk of life. They are of European, African, Asian, and Latino descent. They are first generation. They're gay, they're straight, they're old, and they're young. Our students represent every walk of life, as I said, and it's truly a sight to behold when they come together. They are students who were loved, raised, mentored, and taught by people in this room. They are diverse, collaborative, fearless, globally aware, and entrepreneurial. They are eager to find their rightful place and make lasting contributions. The students at our institutions are future business leaders, public servants, and educators. And we owe it to those who fought for their opportunity to keep their dreams alive. We must keep society moving forward. When our students fulfill their potential, their opportunities are unlimited, as are the opportunities for our communities. Many of them started their journey in small towns, just like myself. Some came from cities, but many of our students came from small towns. Now, thanks to education to which they have access, they can help and soon lead toward the solutions that we all seek. I look forward to joining you in serving our students and our communities through a united commitment to education. And before I leave you today, I want to remind you to keep moving, to stay in motion. As Dr. King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and God bless each of you. Thank you.
Dr. Hemphill, thank you for that informative and inspirational and challenging presentation. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Can we get another round of applause for Dr. Hemphill? I'm going to take just a moment to do a bit of local self-promotion here before I bring the choir up. As Dr. Hemphill spoke to us and he talked about the need to do something about it. Many of you may know that locally we are in an active effort to resurrect the history of education in the New River Valley. The history that for some of us we never knew, for others it may be forgotten, but for many members of our community, they can remember a time when there stood institutions like the Calfee School and the Christiansburg Institute. And there are efforts currently in place by local community members to bring those organizations and structures back to life to commemorate the history of education for students of color in the New River Valleys and beyond. So please pay attention if you can to any flags that you see going up calling for your participation, your donation. We're looking for opportunities for oral history collection and that sort of thing. So that having been said, doing a little local plug for the work that we're trying to do around here, let me bring to the stage, if you would, Unlimited Praise from the Radford Church of God.
are gone, I can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. Hold me in your arms. You are my shelter from the storm. When all my friends were gone, you were right there all alone. I've never known a love like this before. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. Hold me in your arms. You are my shelter from the storm. When all my friends were gone, you were right there all alone. I've never known a love like this before. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything.
Thank you, Jesus. We worship you and we adore you. Can we say it again, Lord?
Lord, I love you more than anything.
We give you all our love, our joy, our peace, our love. We love you, Lord. We love you, Lord. Can we say it again? Yeah.
Lord, I love you. My heart, my King, it beats for you. Oh, Lamb, so true, I surrender to you. My life,
I give you,
my love,
I give you
my all. Your touch, your kiss is grace to me, is deeper than my soul can see. My purpose changed when I call out your name. My life,
I give you,
my love,
I give you
my all. Your touch, your kiss, your grace to me is deeper than my soul can see. My purpose changed when I call out your name. My life,
I give you,
my love,
I give you my
my past has been erased with just one touch from you. My cross, my reign, my pain has changed. Your blood has made me new. Oh, Lamb, so true. I surrender to you. My life,
I give you,
my love,
I give you
my all. And when this world has come to end and paradise with you
I give you,
my love,
I give you
my
It's on. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Let's hear it once again for unlimited praise. As we draw to the end of today's program, I'd like to once again thank the members of the Black History Month Committee for the efforts put together to bring this event about. I'd like to thank you all as a community for coming out and sharing in our reflections upon our history during this celebration of Black History Month and supporting each other and supporting us. I'd like to also thank once again Dr. Pat Huber for her support from the Office of the President. And thank you, Dr. Hemphill, for bringing your message to us from the home of the Highlanders. Thank you. If I may, I'd like to leave you on one note with some words. They aren't my own, but I think they're relevant, and I think they speak to the spirit of our celebration of the stories from our Black history. And I believe they're words that you may be familiar with. They are the words of Maya Angelou, and they come from her poem, Caged Bird. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings for freedom. The freed bird thinks of another breeze and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on the dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. I'd like to thank you all for coming out today, and please stick around and enjoy us for some refreshments. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and thank you once again.